Okay, so in this session, in the last session we saw the transactional replication config. How do we configure that? Additionally, I just wanted to show the snapshot agent status and the log reader. There are two agents here involved. The snapshot agent is the initial agent which will run initially we as we had set up, so it will generate the snapshot and keep it in the folder. So we can check the status here. Also, we have the log reader agent. This agent will be responsible for copying all the records transaction by transaction from the publisher onto the distribution database, from where the subscriber can actually here it is the push kind of a replication, so the distributor will push it across to the subscriber. In case of a pull, the subscriber can pull it from the distributor once the log reader agent keeps the transaction of any particular record which has been added, deleted or updated. So these are the two things I wanted to show you. Also, if if there is any error in the replication, this is the place we can launch the replication monitor. This replication monitor will show you all the status of all the publishers and subscribers, and what is the status of the agents running. Right, so this is the replication monitor, where you can actually see all the publications for the particular server. So here we have one publication there. So if we have a look, we will see that the subscriptions, both of them are running fine. If second and the third instance databases which are subscribing for this particular publication, they are running fine. If any issue, you can actually go in here and get the basic information of as to what is the issue here. We can also see the agents running and the status involved, the snapshot agent, the log reader agent, and how the last run and everything, every details will be available here. So next, I want to discuss about a very important scenario, actually something which I have mentioned in my article. If we have a look, so right, we have seen a publisher, one publisher and server, two subscribers for that particular publication. Now the scenario is something like this. We have two publishers, each of them are publishing the same table, and that is to be subscribed by a subscriber on the third server. But the data on these publishing table are actually similar in the as far as the schema of the article is concerned, but the data is different, and we want that entire data to be subscribed by the by the subscriber on the third server. So how do we go about this scenario? So let's create one more publication. This is the first publication which is publishing the student database for class 10 students. Right now, we on the second instance, we will see a sample DB. We'll just try, and I've created a table on the sample database which is having the same schema of the table, but it has the data for class 12 students with the roll number and names and everything, but they are not the data is not similar to the class to the other student table. Now we'll create a publication for this database. So let's create a new publication. We'll create a same transactional publication, sample DB and transactional publication. We'll select the student table and create the snapshot agent, give the security settings, and say create publication. and say finish. True. So the publication has been created. Transactional publication has been created. Now on the third server, this is our third instance of the server. I've created a work DB, which is nothing but an actually empty database. Now we'll try to subscribe both of these publications into the work DB. So let's create a subscription. We already have a subscription. Okay, let's create a subscription here. New subscription, and we'll say from the first instance, that is a test pubs, we'll create a push, and subscribing database is the work database, and we will write impersonate, run it once immediately, next, and finish. So this has been created. So the entire data from the student table on the default instance for class 10 students has been copied here. Now has been subscribed. Now we want one more. We want the 12 students as well, so we'll create a new subscription and say next from the second instance this time, and this is the publication, and this is the second instance. We'll say push, and we'll put it onto the work database. Before that, let's just check on the third instance. Okay, we'll just check on the work database about the students. So we'll actually see all the class 10 records are available. Now if we move ahead for the second instance, I think we have to make one change on the second instance publication. This is the property, this is the publication. While setting up the second instance, it's important for the article being published, for the properties, we'll say drop existing object and create. It's by default it is drop and create. So if we actually go ahead and subscribe this one, the existing class 10th will be dropped. So we'll just, let's have a look. Next, and finish. Right, so this subscription has also been configured. Now we are subscribing from the sample DB and the test DB students value. So let's have a look at the third instance. Now if we have a look at the third instance, all the class 12th students are there, but the initial 10th student have been truncated. Why this has happened? If we look at the point that I was trying to make here, if we look at each of the publications we are subscribing, they have a default property for this article, as the property for this article is actually drop existing object and create a new one. So each time the subscription is created, it will drop the existing one, and then it will create a new object schema in the object, and then put the data there. Copy the data there. Now what we want both of the students, we want the subscriber to get the values for class 10 students and the 12th as well in its final destination table. So what are we supposed to do in that case? The initial let the initial table property be drop and existing, but for the next subscription, we will do a small change in the property. we will make this property to be keep existing objects unchanged. That goes to say that it will not make any change, rather just append the values of the rows record sets. Right, we have made this change. Now if we still go and check it out, it will still be. So what are we supposed to do? And the point is, first we should simply reinitialize all subscriptions. To do this, it will ask for creating a new snapshot. Do the same, mark for reinitialization. Right, so that is done. Now if we have a look, right, we just saw that the reinitialization is complete, and the first subscription, I mean the first publication has pushed the data, that is the class 10 students data, into the subscription. So it has been done. Now the next thing, we'll just reinitialize from the second as well, as we have already changed the property. So it will not drop, I mean, and recreate the object. It will simply append the class 12th students as well. Right, we just saw that happening. Now our destination table, now our subscribe destination table also has values from both the 10th and the 12th. Now let's go and make changes on the primary. Here we'll add another student, class 10th student, with the name we have done that. We have added student Jacob. Now the final table should also, right, we can see that the Jacob student has been added into our final destination table. Let's add a 12th student as well. So that has been added. If we have a look, we have Martin, class 12 student. Our final destination table also shows Martin added. So this was something I wanted to show as a special case for transactional replication. So that's regarding the special case where we are actually subscribing from two different publishers, something like this. We are subscribing from two different publishers into a third server. Thanks. Next we'll go ahead and try and understand the replication, transactional replication with updating subscribers. So let's move ahead on the next session. Thank you.